Hello there, kia ora. It was always to be expected that when Labour announced an ounce of their tax policy, especially a long gestating CGT, that the coalition would attack it. And like a guest on Jerry Springer, they attacked with the regularity of someone who's just found out that the ratings go up when they say outrageous things. But that led them to this attack line. When Chris Hipkins was Prime Minister, he said that there would be no CGT while he was in the job. He lied. And yeah, Hipkins did say that, but he also said after the Labour lost the election that it was back to the drawing board and everything was back on the table and they'd consider every option, including a CGT. Then for the past 2 years, the media has been hounding him for party policy, where they were told that it was in the process of being formed. But that attack line of calling Hipkins a liar for agreeing to listen to Labour supporters and changing their stance when those supporters said they wanted to, something that we kind of all hope our leaders, whether they're party political leaders or middle managers at work, would do when presented with well-reasoned arguments. Well, that leaves the coalition open to being called liars when they change their stance on things. Like how the government said that they weren't planning on scrapping first home buyer grants, and then they did. Or when they said that they'd start taxing big tech companies fairly with a digital service tax, and then decided not to change the system for them. When they said that they would fully fund 13 life-saving cancer medications but didn't, and then had to scramble to pull funding from the next budget to make it happen after there was public outcry. Or when Karen Chower stormed out of an interview with Tova O'Brien when asked about allowing physical punishment on kids in boot camps, claiming it would never happen, only to allow that to happen with a cabinet discussion paper that the Prime Minister said never actually happened. Or when they said that they'd bring down the age of bowel cancer screening to match Australia and then only reduced it a couple of years while actually increasing the age for Māori and Pacifica men who are more likely to develop it earlier than other ethnicities. How about the frontline services won't be impacted by budget cuts line? Until they were clearly impacted by budget cuts, which was going to happen no matter what, and that was obvious to most people. There was calls for more transparency from lobbyists until they were in power, and it turned out that lobbyists from tobacco companies and fishing companies were influencing government policy. Te Whatu Ora's books are terrible, but it turned out that the commissioner that they put in place had kind of cooked the books a little. 21,000 people will get family boost. Only 600 people did. The Dunedin Hospital upgrade, it would not be changed until it was downgraded. We have a list of 14 layers of management that need to be cut to justify $1.4 billion in health cuts. That list was entirely made up and it included patients for some reason. Te Pukenga needs to be rethought because of a $250 million debt that they're carrying, which was actually only $50 million, and the minister was accused of having conflated entirely what was going on. How about they were focused on reducing child poverty by shrinking the targets of child poverty. There is no hiring freeze at Health New Zealand, but we're just not hiring anyone right now, including a whole bunch of nurses that have just come out of training. Mark Mitchell was going to quit if crime hadn't gone down after a year, which it hadn't, but victimisation numbers had changed, so that was his justification. There was going to be 500 new police officers by now, I think it was, maybe, November. But, they moved that date back as more people joined gangs and police left the country. And of course, there was the laser focus on the cost of living crisis, which has seen increases in power, food, and rents while delivering the lowest minimum wage increases on record, re-indexing benefits, and changing allowable earning levels to freeze some people's income. Under their own logic, based on what they claim was a lie from Chris Hipkins because circumstances changed and he listened to his supporters, these are lies that the coalition then told to us. And sure, Hipkins' change of policy was the result of work, conversations, planning, and consultation, and the government just out and out made up some of these examples. But hey, circumstances apparently don't matter. And if they're clearly that prolific with their lies, based on their own criteria, then should voters really be giving them a second term? Hey, thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. While you're here, why not hit that like button or share the video or even subscribe to the channel. You could even become a paid YouTube member so you can see things released in advance, you get access to some exclusive content, and like all these awesome people, you get to have your name at the end of the credits as well.